Okay, so I have a new album out. This one I've actually did the chunk of the work last weekend and listened to it a bit, knew really what worked and what didn't work, and then went and redid a lot of the stuff on it and Midnight Anxiety Hour, which is my favorite album of
Vito Genovese.
He's the most prolific artist on Ranger Music. This album as a whole is easily one of the best I've heard from him, and one of my favorites from a Ranger Music artist. And part of what really works for it is it works in different ways. I think what really works on it is they're all so solid over an album, and you've got sort of electronic pieces early on. Then it goes into, you got some noise pieces, you got some sort of experimental stuff, a lot of effects and reverb coming in, and and then you have some really nice ambient pieces towards the end of the album. And it's a really good listen, sort of from start to finish, and it all has that sort of late night feel. I know he's a real late owl in terms of staying up late working on stuff and way into the AM, and it has that particular vibe to it. So I when I was thinking of doing collaborations, definitely doing with Surfing New Jersey first, but I also wanted to work with Vito just because I wanted to do a whole album, and that was definitely an album I wanted to sort of touch and listen to it again and sort of get ideas of, hey, what could I do differently? How would I do it differently? And so, just taking a listen to it again, and some things I've just moved some stuff around and taking something that was a little more thrown together and sort of trying to give it a little straightforward. Some of the sort of the more dancey tracks, the electronic dance music tracks, I added some loops and gave it a little bit more of a an actual electronic feel. Other stuff, there were a couple sketches on there that I tried to really add a lot more stuff to. Some stuff I just added a little bit more reverb, brought out some other stuff. It's not a lot of stuff I didn't change around that much. I liked it so much as it was that I just wanted to bring out certain elements of it, change some things around, but really try to keep the same thing. There's a couple things that are pretty different, obviously, and but trying to really keep the album as it originally was, so that people say, well, this that they really complement each other in terms of having that same feel, having that same experimental, the different genres fitting all along through it, and yet having really the tracks sort of link into each other, where they really have a good segue from track to track to track, and a really good rhythm. Because that's what's really important about an album that most people forget is you really do want to have a solid listen from start to end, where you just say, okay, what's the next track? What's the next track? That's his album. This is my remix. So, you'll listen to it as everyone else will, and hopefully you'll like it. So, I think it's a good take two on what's a pretty solid album on its own. Midnight Anxiety Hour remix, and hopefully you'll like it.